Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Captain McGuire, and thank you, Marine Corps Band, New Orleans. This is a great day for our city, for our state, and a day that has been long awaited by this audience. Many of us stood together before that BRAC Commission in 2005 and listened to the presentation on behalf of our great city and state as to why our base should not be closed, but rather turned into Federal City. In 2008, we stood in this area and had a groundbreaking event here at Federal City. And today, ladies and gentlemen, today we welcome our first tenant, the United States Marine Forces Reserve for the entire nation. Back in 2008, I used a term that still applies today in a definition for the word team. Together, everyone achieves more. Bringing this magnificent building to life has surely taken a team effort. Our entire bipartisan state delegation, along with our city and military leaders, working as a united team for over many years, along with the dedication and hard work of our staff, community members, business people, and our Federal City team, teamwork has brought us to where we are today. I'd like to take a little time up front today and introduce and recognize our distinguished guests and team members that are with us for this celebration. Let me start by recognizing the members of the community who are with us today. From Algiers and New Orleans, if you are a leader, business person, or community member, please wave your hand. Thank you all for coming. You have all played a large part in making this happen. Next, I'd like to ask all of our military personnel leaders, leadership and military to please stand up and be recognized for this great event today. Thank you for what you have done to make Federal City happen. We are also honored to have two of our senior military leaders with us today, and I'd like to recognize them and ask them to please stand. First, we have the Assistant Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General Joseph F. Dunford, Jr. General. Also with us today is the Commander of Marine Forces Reserve and Marine Forces North, Major General Darrell L. Moore. General. At this time, I'd like to recognize my board. It's an honor for me to serve as the chairman of the Algiers Development District, which has been involved with this project, serving as the master landlord of the project. And I'd like to recognize Mr. Tom Arnold, Mr. Tyrell Cassidy, Ms. Judy Reese Moore, and all of the City Council members, Kristen Gibson Palmer. With us today, he's away on business, with Representative Speaker of the House, Jim Tucker, and also an Algiers State Representative, Ms. Vicki Lohr, his legislative assistant. And here representing his brother as well as himself, a former member of the Algiers Development District, former Senator Francis Heitmeyer, representing him and his brother Senator Dave Heitmeyer, who after a long session scheduled appointments with his patients and couldn't miss them. I'd also like to thank our partner, the New Orleans Federal Alliance. I'd like to recognize their board. President, retired General David Mize, Chairman Bill Bryant, retired Colonel Dale Dempsey, City Council President Jacqueline Brechtel Clarkson, Mr. Robert Farnsworth, Mr. Ryan Gardner, Ms. Norma Grace, and Ms. Carol Suggs. Thank you to the New Orleans Federal Alliance Board. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from the agenda, we have our entire state, city leadership present today to help us celebrate this great event. I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize them for their great work and make a Federal City happen by having them stand when I call their name. Please hold the applause until I go down the list of names, but I want to thank each of them for their support of the project over the years. Without their support, this might not have happened. First off, Senator Mary Landrieu is on her way here. She's coming from the airport. Will be here shortly. From Senator David Vitter's office, we have Ms. Amber Birch and Melissa Stelly. Thank you all for coming and representing the senator. I'd also like to welcome our governor from the great state of Louisiana, Governor Bobby Jindal. Congressman Cedric Richmond. Mayor Mitch Landrieu. I'd also like to welcome from the Louisiana House of Representatives and from the Louisiana Senate, Senator J.P. Morrell, Representative Jared Frostette, and Representative Bill Yatt. Just a little air conditioning coming down. Last but not least, I'd like to thank our master developers of Federal City. We have present with us today ECC owner Mr. Paul Sakwal, HRI Property CEO Press Kavikoff, and Chief Operating Officer Mr. Eddie Bodner, and the whole HRI ECC team who are here today. Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you all for coming. Finally, I'd like to call your attention to several of the teams who have worked together to make this happen. The Algiers Development District, the New Orleans Federal Alliance, the State of Louisiana, the City of New Orleans, the Greater New Orleans Community, HRI ECC, LLC, Mathis Pierre Architects, the United States Marine Corps, the United States Navy, Woodward Design Build, who built this beautiful structure you see behind us, Adams & Reese Law Firm, and Jones Walker Law Firm. Let's give them all a hand. Without them, this would not come to fruition. I would now like to call your attention to the inside of the programs that were handed out today. We have a full agenda, as you can see from the program, which includes remarks by our city, state, and military leaders, which will be followed by a ribbon cutting ceremony. Then we will have a tour of the building for those of you wishing to do so. And last but not least, food and celebration inside the building after the ribbon cutting. And now we'll start with our first speaker. It was back in 1998 when I was working for then Mayor Mark Morial as his liaison point person for military affairs that I met this person. Together, working with the Mayor's Military Advisory Committee under the leadership of then Chairman Frank Udo, we strived together to try and improve the quality of life of the military here in New Orleans and in the greater New Orleans area. He was then the commander of Marine Forces Reserve. He is now the president, CEO of the New Orleans Federal Alliance, retired General David Mize.